Hi, Shannon. Welcome.
Hello.
Nice to have you join us from Tavant.
Thank you
Let
for
me,
having me. I'm happy to
of
be
course,
here.
yes, of course. All right. Let me give a quick description and then the floor will be yours.
Okay.
Touchless Lending is an AI-powered lending as a service platform that provides end-to-end mortgage manufacturing. This one-of-a-kind software solution allows lenders to originate more mortgages at a faster rate while also reducing costs. Loan officers, processors, and underwriters alike now have access to use Touchless Lending's optimized workflows to engage with data and make faster decisions instead of relying on physical documentation and manual data entry. Touchless Lending integrates effortlessly with your existing systems, including the LOS, and automates loan productions. That was a mouthful for me, Shannon. Hopefully you have better
Say
luck
that
with
10
that.
times fast. Yeah, that's okay. It's a lot.
It is a lot, but I'm sure you can simplify it for us. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to walk you through today our lovely, there we go, if I can get myself sharing correctly. And so you mentioned a couple of things before I dive in to what is very near and dear to my heart, which is collateral. That's what we'll dig into. But really, touchless lending is an end-to-end, and the goal of it is to touch less, right? And to make it touchless where possible. So what I'm showing you today is actually our underwriting dashboard. You are certainly able to use this. It's not required. One of the things that's really important to know is that the touchless lending and the individual components, or all of it together, are agnostic of any specific LOS. So if your LOS is homegrown or Encompass or Blue Sage, right? We can integrate to anything because we're just leveraging API calls. So it's really important to know you're not. Everybody can play at the playground. Nobody is left behind. So a couple of things that I'll jump into here in our dashboard. And as I said, my focus is primarily on collateral, right? Appraisals, what's wrong with them? What kind of problems may we or may we not have? So one of the things you'll see right out of the gate is we do have a FEMA integration. So this is run overnight. It'll identify, you'll see my little FEMA indicator here. And I can drill down farther. It'll even tell me if I click here, would take me directly to loans which may or may not, be impacted by a disaster. So it's super cool, easy to use. Nobody's looking anything up. God forbid there's a hurricane or a tornado. You don't need to go and find the zip codes and do all that digging. We're going to handle that for you. So the other thing I'm able to do here is look at my conditions on a loan file. So across any of the pods, again, without hopping in. You'll also notice I have this lovely events tracker over here on the side, which is just letting me know everything that's happening behind the scenes. I've got income calculations completed. I'm ordering VOIs, the loans are being onboarded. All of that's happening with no human involved. So let me jump into my loan. Oh, not you. You. So now I'm inside of a loan file. You can see I've got much more detail. So up here, all my loan characteristics, right? I've got days to close, LTVs, DTIs, socials, if I want to see that. Also, I do have, we have this amazing tool. It's called Fin Decision. It'll run Fannie, Freddie at the same time and do a comparison on them, right? So I'm actually able to take a look and say, oh, well, gosh, Fannie and Freddie are both eligible. I got a property inspection waiver. Fannie doesn't like my income, so I think I'm going to stick with Freddie on this one. That all, again, happens behind the scenes, multiple periods throughout the loan. So you always know that you have the most up-to-date information and that you're really selecting the best agency for sale. To scroll down just a little more, I've got income analysis. I could spend an hour talking about income analysis. We automatically will send documents off for self-employed income analysis. We'll automatically order VOIs, do the calculations for wage and self-employed. It's truly amazing. I would love to come back at another time and talk to you about that one. But we're going to talk today about collateral. So in this section, you'll see a couple of things. done a lot of visualizers. I like pictures and colors. I like very easy for me to understand. So we have these in many, many sections. In this instance, what I'm seeing here is that my comp 3, my price per square foot, is a little low as it relates to my other 2 comps, right? So let's dig a little deeper. So now I'm in and looking at my appraisal's been onboarded into the Touchless platform, and I'm looking at the results of it. So a lot is happening behind the scenes while we're hopefully getting a cup of coffee and, you know, taking a minute to relax. The first thing that you'll see, we're giving little indicators, right, for things that may be an issue. The first thing I'm seeing is, oh, my property address, something looks off with that. So behind the scenes, we're going out and validating with USPS, and we're looking at the appraisal, and we're looking at loan data, right? So we've got those 3 pieces of information, and we all know most of the time we're going to take our USPS. I'm going to do that here as well. So that's already indicated for me, and I'm just going to submit it. So now my property address has been acknowledged. You see I got my pretty green check mark. We like green. Green is good, red is bad. Also some other things in here. So a lot of times, and appraisals are a really good example of this, there are a lot of things that might not be correct, but may not really require a condition from an appraiser, right? I'm not going to go back and ask them to fix every little detail. So I am able, in addition to creating conditions, I could just acknowledge something. I could say, yep, I saw it. It's okay. I'm not worried about it, right? So that happens through all of these sections. The other thing that's really nice is I'm actually also able to look at my appraisal report. So I can pop that up and just slide that off to my other screen while I'm looking through the additional information that we're providing, right? So I can hop through each of these sections. And so here's an issue. This is a non-arm's length transaction. Well, that's not a great thing, right? I'm able to hit this little link, and it'll take me straight out. Oops, I'm going to open in my other window. It'll launch me straight out to my Fannie guidelines. So I can, and we can also link, we could link that to anything. Could be if you have a non-QM lender, we could link in their guidelines. We're picking Fannie Freddie today. So I'm able to take a look out and see exactly what the problem is, get answers to my question. I may or may not be eligible for sale. So come down into my neighborhood section, you know, my built up and slow growth, which we all know is not true in today's world. And I've got another issue here, which is my zoning and compliance. So the other thing to note here is you'll see these comments. These are actually the comments off of the appraisal. So we're not just saying your zoning is illegal, we're giving you the comments here. Of course, you could still take a look at them on the appraisal. And we've grouped these together so that, again, show me what the problem is, right? And let me address it quickly instead of reading through that entire document. And of course, you're still able to see the entire document. Improvement sections, sales comparison. So we're showing you the images of the property, right? Again, little indicators just to point out something that you might want to dig a little deeper into. And I also want to mention a lot of this is configurable. So depending on what state the property is in or your type of lending, if you wanted to never on a suburban property have a comp that's more than 3 miles away, that's a configurable point. And a lot of the really critical and key data points are set to be configurable. We all know Fannie Freddie, their famous saying for collateral is use your best judgment, whatever you think is okay. So we're trying to give you the tools and some of the underlying data and point out things that may not be okay. So that is talking about really the data, right? And so in addition to the data, we've gone farther. We're actually taking the AI and machine learning and doing things like actually looking at your images. And so that's something that, you know, collateral underwriter doesn't do. And most of the appraisal analysis services that we've seen are not doing this, right? So something like looking for a for rent or for sale sign in the front yard. And on a purchase loan, a for sale sign, totally okay, right? On an investment property, a for rent sign is completely acceptable. But if I'm doing an owner occupied refi and there's a for rent or for sale sign in the front of the house, that's a problem. So that's one instance of image analysis This one is actually my favorite. We also do what we call anomaly detection. Yes, these are chickens in the kitchen, not chickens on the table for dinner. This would also be flagged as an anomaly. It doesn't make sense that you have live chickens running around in your kitchen. So we also look at your building sketch, right? So we're able to take a look at this image, count your number of bedrooms and bathrooms and your levels, and compare that back to your sales comp grid to make sure that it's right. It actually, and appraisers are human, they make mistakes. So this is just a way that we can really give you that loan quality and data consistency right from the get, right? So you're not kind of trying to catch up as your loan goes through and hitting it into post-closing. Natural language processing, where we're able to look at significant adjustments, right? I have a $242,000 adjustment because he's on a waterfront. We can pull that together so that you'll see that adjustment as well as all the comments related to those comparables. In all of those will be pulled together so you're not searching through. I'll take a pause there. Does anybody have any questions before I continue on with my spiel? Okay. So we have applied OCR strategies in a couple of different ways, right? It's really important for appraisals, given that there's not a lot out there. They're on the wholesale and correspondent side. It is not uncommon, well, definitely on correspondent, but on the wholesale side, not uncommon to just get a PDF of an appraisal with your initial submission. We can actually run this analysis off of just a PDF. We don't have to have the XML initially. So that's really important. So you can get this information right from the beginning, you know, not 2 weeks later when your appraisal gets assigned to you. On the retail side, obviously, we're getting the XML data, but still doing that same level of analysis. So in our OCR strategy, right, we've got one that really fantastic job at handling appraisals. But there are other things in our document analysis, right, that we're able to, we've got an OCR vendor that does a great job with bank statements and one that does a great job at classifying. So we're really pulling together the best of what's out there in the industry in conjunction with some of the things that we are building and have built to really offer a unique experience, something that is digging deeper than seeing if a box is checked, making sure that everything is filled in, but now I'm actually telling you about it and pointing out the things that could be a problem. Because really the goal is saleable. We all want to be saleable as quickly as humanly possible. And so if you are interested and want to see a deeper dive, I really could take you through and like run you, you know, in detailed image analysis and get all, I could probably spend an hour talking about that. But if you want more information, if you want to see anything on the fin decision or document analysis, income analysis, collateral analysis, all you have to do is email hello@tavant.com and we'll have somebody get back with you and really give you a deep dive and show you all of the bells and whistles, all the fun parts.
Shannon, thank you so much for taking us through this. So my first question is, why would I need collateral analysis if I use DU Collateral Underwriter?
Yeah, and I think it's really going beyond just the data points, right? Knowing that, so TU is an amazing tool and it does give you a lot of historical data. But again, it's not looking at the images. It's not looking at the interior condition or exterior condition of the property. It's not reading through all of the comments to, you know, the appraiser may make a comment that you've got some external obsolescence and it doesn't really appear anywhere else. These are things that as an underwriter, you need to know. It affects the value of the property, but they're not always readily apparent when you're running collateral underwriter. So the image and the textual analysis would be my biggest ones.
And you mentioned AI and machine learning. How is Tavant using AI and machine learning for collateral analysis?
Yeah, so the most immediate pieces that you'll see it in is the image analysis, right? That's huge. We've taken tens of thousands of images and we're looking at them and assessing them for condition, exterior of the property, even things like looking at the house number to make sure that it's the correct photo, right? My house number is 123, but my appraisal is for 125, and the appraiser may have just uploaded an incorrect photo. That anomaly detection, right? Chickens in the kitchen, the language processing, reading those comments. Those are just a few, the room counts and sketch. Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like there's much more capabilities that this program has. And if you want more information, reach out to Tavant Touchless Lending. Shannon, thank you so much. And I'm going to pass things back over to Jennifer.